So we are involved in dumping in Rhode Island, and the usual people are the victims of what we're doing. Now you say, okay, this is all nice. Did somebody perhaps do any systematic research on this topic? Well, it turns out that there's a guy called James Boyce. He's a professor at UMass in Amherst, and with a couple of collaborators, they actually very systematically studied the whole United States and wrote down what the various indicators were. And they have their own indicators for demographics and for pollution. And what do they find? Well, we tend to find that low-income communities and people of color bear disproportionate burdens. They are more likely to live in the proximity of these hazards. That's not just Rhode Island, that's everywhere. And if you actually look at how income is distributed, everybody knows that there is a correlation between color and income. Well, the disparity that exists on suffering from pollution is even more pronounced than that one. It's just that we never look at that, or very rarely. Well, let's go south again. Not quite to Dixie, but this is about Baltimore. Baltimore is about, well, I don't know whether they're going to do it, but they were talking about building one of the world's biggest incinerators. And they're going to do this where? Well, in one of the most toxic zip codes in the United States. Now here is another twist. Again, the demographics in Baltimore, I'm sure you know, are different from Kingston, to put it mildly. But there's another twist on this thing, which says Maryland has a law that says that you have to replace the fossil fuel industry fossil fuel energy by green stuff. But they came up with a plan with which you can get brownie points for doing something else. The brownie points, and the time the greenie points would be better to call it, are if you use incinerated garbage, then you can use that to offset the amount by which you reduce fossil fuel usage. In other words, build for every power plant that you want to keep running, you can build an incinerator, and well, then you actually can tell the White House, oh, we're doing what we need to do. We are actually reducing our carbon footprint. Well, what is happening as you do that? You're basically selling out people who live in these toxic neighborhoods and saying, hey, you are going to essentially be the people who are going to suffer because somewhere down the line we're going to make a calculation that says that we're better off with this incinerator. Yeah, too bad that it hits you, but for the global climate, that's a better deal. So, as I said, who are the people who suffer from this? The usual who always do this. Now, there's another thing that I would like to explain briefly. There is a program called Cap and Trade. The idea is, oh, well, you want to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases that we put into the atmosphere. We put a cap on those things. And if you here in Rhode Island don't really need to go all the way up to the cap, you can take your surplus, put it on the market, and sell it to somebody wherever that person might live or that industry.